Oh, hello, Algebra 2 class. As you can see, Mr. Thomas here, but I've added my friend. We'll call him Ronan, the robot. Say hello. He's actually not working right now, he's not charged. But I figured I would add a friend real briefly to this lesson because we are going to be dealing with adding and subtracting rational expressions. So we're going to add and subtract rational expressions. We worked on multiplying and dividing last video, and so now we're going to do adding and subtraction. Ronan the robot is going to help me. So here we go. When we deal with adding and subtracting rational expressions, we're first going to look at adding. Now there are lots of opportunities to get confused on this particular lesson. So I've tried to write down each step. I would encourage you to kind of follow these steps as you're working through the problem. So we have this expression, notice it's addition, and we're going to follow these steps. The first step says factor the denominators. All right, so the bottom parts of the fraction are called denominators, the top half are called numerators, but we're going to factor the denominators. So notice x minus 1, that's as low as it goes. This expression right here simplifies to x minus 1, x minus 2. Step 2. We're going to multiply. I'll switch my colors. We're then going to multiply the denominators by what's missing. So we're going to look at the denominators, and notice we have x minus 1, x minus 1. That matches. But then we have an x minus 2. So we're going to multiply the denominators by what's missing. And in fact, we're actually going to multiply all of it by what's missing. So we're going to take this x minus 2 that's missing over here, and we're going to multiply the denominator and the numerator by x minus 2. When we do that, we're going to have a factored form of an expression here, and then they just go ahead and combine the x times x is x squared, x times negative 2 is negative 2x. And then they just rewrite the expression as you see it here. That's step 2. So make sure you're looking at what's missing and then just multiply just that side of the expression or the equation. Multiply that side, the numerator and the denominator, by whatever's missing. All right, let's keep on moving. So this just shows you what they did. They multiplied. They have this new expression. So this is where we're at from step 2. And now step 3, it says add the numerators on top. So the reason why we multiply by what's missing on the denominators is because once those match, then we can combine the bottoms, which is what they do here. And then they just add x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 1. And then they just combine like terms. So the negative 2x and the 2x, they cancel each other out. And I'm left with x squared minus 1. From here, step 4, almost done with it. We're going to factor and simplify. So I just need to factor out, the bottom part's already factored. So I just need to factor out x squared minus 1. And that simplifies to x minus 1, x plus 1. And then you got to think back to last lesson. I'm going to cancel out what I see on the top and bottom that match. So the x minus 1, gone. And I'm left with x plus 1, x minus 2. That is adding and subtracting. So we're going to do an example. Hopefully you can follow along, but you can always go back through and look at these steps. Pause the video if you need to. So, first step, we're going to factor. Let's see if I can go backwards. Factor the denominators. That's the bottom part. So, I've already got this part done, so I'm going to say step 1. Factor denom. Okay, I'm just going to call that denom. X plus 1, x minus 1, that's good as it is. I've got a negative 2 there. And then my x squared minus x, and this is sort of like a plus 0. But basically what I want is I want a an exponent and a number. So I can have this as x minus 1. So when I take an x out of here, it's x. X times x is x squared. X times -1 is negative x. And a hint that I give you is you're going to have at least one match down here. So now, step 2, I'm going to go and use green. Step 2, multiply by the missing denominator. Alright, so notice I have x minus 1, but I don't have an x. So I'm going to multiply by x here and x here. And so when I rewrite this, this is going to be x squared plus x, and it's going to be x squared minus x plus, this all stays the same, x minus 1. Alright, now from here, oh, I guess I could have just kept it all the same. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as x minus 1. Alright, and now notice the bottom should match. And so now I'm going to combine or add the numerators. That's the tops. So the bottoms are going to combine, so this is going to be x minus 1. And then the tops are going to combine, so this is going to be x squared plus x minus 2. And then from here, I'm going to factor and simplify. Okay, so last step, factor and simplify. Okay, so I'm going to factor this top part. I'll just give you a hint. The bottom part is going to stay the same right there on this one. And then when I factor, remember I have the parentheses. I split my x's. I look at the symbol. It's a plus sign on the first one always drops. If that's a plus, the second one also drops, so that's a minus. And I'm looking for variables of 2 or multiples of 2. They give me 1. Well, there's only one multiple of 2. That's 2 and 1. Highest one goes first. And now I've got my factored form, and I simplify. I'm looking for matches from the top to the bottom. I look, there's no x plus 2, so I look at x minus 1. There it is. And so when I simplify, this is going to be x plus 2 over x. Boom. That is my answer. Just like that. Alright, that is adding rational expressions. Now, we're going to subtract rational expressions. And since we're going to subtract, we got to say goodbye to Ronan. In fact, he was getting very heavy, so I'm going to just set him down. Whew. He's looking at me. You can't tell, but he's looking at me. Alright, so subtracting rational expressions is basically the exact same as adding. Alright, first step, I'm going to factor the denominators. That's the bottom. So over here, they just factored it out where you have a variable and a number inside parentheses. That's what we want to look at when we factor. And then we're going to multiply by whatever's missing. All right. And so notice over here I'm missing a 2, but over here I'm missing an x outside. All right, that's kind of sloppy, but a 2 and an x. So I'm actually have to multiply this part by 2 and this part by x, which is what they show you over here. They're multiplying the left side each by 2, the numerator and denominator, and they're multiplying the right side of the equation by x. And so when they put these on here, they just kind of keep it in factored form and they're left with this. So same steps, you factor the denominators, you multiply by whatever's missing in the denominators so that the denominators match. Notice 2x, x minus 2, 2x times x minus 2. Once you've done that, all right, so this is where we left off from step 2. Step 3 is subtract the numerators, or the top. So we're going to combine those bottom parts, which is what they do here, and then they combine the numerators, or the top parts, with that subtraction. Now notice you've got this in parentheses, which means the negative needs to go to both of these items, the x squared and the 2x. So when they do that, they're going to combine like terms. So 2x minus 2x goes away. The 4 doesn't do anything, so it just goes over here, and the x squared becomes negative, so it's negative x squared plus 4, and the bottom stays the same. On the final step, we're going to factor and simplify. So when they look to factor this, all right, they just kind of keep that negative sign outside the parentheses, and then just factor what's in here. And so this factors out to be x minus 2, x plus 2. This is already factored, and so they just drop it, and then they go through and simplify. They look to see what they can eliminate. So we have a x minus 2, so that's what they get rid of. And then we're left with the negative sign, and then in parentheses, x plus 2 over 2x. And that would be subtraction. So it's basically the same step, except when you get to step 3, you got to subtract the numerators, and you got to make sure that that negative sign carries over to both of those things. All right. One final note before we finish. Problem number 5 on the homework. If you look on page 538 in the book, which if you go to question help, and then that's under the toolbar, and on the top right, you hit question help and then textbook. You can look at page 538, and it will show you step by step on problem 5. It will show you how to solve number 5 from the homework. All right, and you just kind of go through step by step, and you should be able to solve it. All right, in the theme of 5, we have 5 questions for this homework. Good luck, and don't forget, you can message me or Miss Colette if you need help. Goodbye. Goodbye.